Hey y'all, hey, and welcome to another session of Meditations with Marigny. So it's early morning, and I'm whispering because I woke up at about 5 o'clock this morning and I couldn't sleep, so I decided to just get up and I am going to now officially cook my Thanksgiving dinner. I didn't cook a homemade meal for my kids because I was waiting until we had finished with our family and things like that. And so I didn't have my kids to pack anything to take with them because I knew I was going to cook later on. But I'm jumping on this morning. And again, I'm talking softly because it's early in the morning and everybody in my house is still asleep. And I was just randomly thinking about what happens in the dark, how the magic happens when no one is watching. And I think about many content builders and people who are before people, and everything typically is like all polished and it looks good. And there is just such a falsity that is put before people now that people don't get to see people in their real element. So, in other words, what is true now seems false, and what is false now seems true. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't put our best foot forward. What I am saying is that people should be able to know that there are regular people out here living in this world and that what we see portrayed through social media is not necessarily always accurate. And even if it is accurate to a certain degree, it is not feasible for everyday living. And so I really just I listened to one of my favorite um podcasters or YouTubers. His name is Tony Gaskin. And Tony is just he's a younger brother. I think he's in his 40s. But to me he is just so wise beyond his years. And I was listening to him give a review about a celebrity and her husband who's going through it. I guess they're going through a divorce now. And that review, he just made me reflect on, again, what I know I want in my home and what I know I don't want in my home as it pertains to relationships. And you guys know that my channel is about marriage, divorce, relationships, dating. And just to be honest with you, like I told my family, I said, this is the last year that I'm going to be single for Thanksgiving. And I meant that because I believe that this is the last year that I will have to walk in my season of singleness. Um, you know, I believe that the work that we do behind the scenes. So as I mentioned, I'm up this morning. It's 5 o'clock. I'm getting ready to go in the kitchen and do some cooking. I'm gonna put my headphones on instead of putting my music on in the house so I don't wake everybody up. But it's the quiet and the still of the house that I'm gonna get now, and my family is going to reap the benefit of it later. And sometimes in relationships, we're looking to get the benefit of what we have not yet worked for. So it's the work that I'm putting in now while everybody is asleep that is going to be a benefit for them later on today. Well, when we really think about relationships and how God has set us up. And you guys know in my previous video, I talked about, marriage is really about servanthood. It's about, I want to serve another person. People on the red pill side will say differently. People on the pink pill side will say differently. But the truth of the matter is, relationship and marriage is all about servanthood. And if you aren't willing to be of service to another person, marriage is not going to be for you. Now, you might can find a short-term relationship and things that you guys can do. Y'all can travel, y'all can go places. People can say that, that's not true. I've been with my man for 20 years and we haven't got married and we're happy. And that may be so. But I'm talking about the foundational principles of a Christian marriage and a Christian relationship where you want to have the principles in place that God would have placed in that marriage in order for it to sustain. And I'm saying that to you because as I prepared to get up and sacrifice this morning, I know that my kids may not really put into play the fact that mama was up early this morning doing this. Like they'll know it in their mind, but the appreciation for what sacrifices that I've made may not come for 5 or 10 years from now. So, how does that then relate to us in relationships? For those of us that are in the age bracket of my constituent base and the people who listen to me, we have to be intentional. I am very intentional with the love that I show for my children. So, for instance, when I was baking cakes for everybody else, I know that one of my sons, he loves chocolate cake and he loves a lemon cake. So when I bake a chocolate cake. I have a chocolate cake here and I have a lemon cake here. And I did that intentionally because I knew even though I carried some for my family, it was important that I took care of my own home. How many of us spend so much time pouring into other people, but we forget to pour into our own household? I want to make sure that if you're listening to this video, and if you have in some way possibly neglected your partner or not paid close attention to them, I want you to pause and do inventory. And when I say pause and do inventory, get you a pen and a piece of paper and sit down and write down the last time that you did something special for your person. I want you to write down the last time that you maybe bought their favorite food, the last time that you fixed his favorite dish, the last time that you bought her roses because you know that she just enjoys them, the last time that you may have gone to Bath and Body Works and gotten her her favorite lotion and or body wash, um, the last time that you may have helped her to fold the clothes, the last time that you might have handed him a glass of water or lemonade while he was cutting the grass. Take a moment and think about the last time that you served your partner, and then go and try and execute that strategically, specifically for your person, especially if you have had problems and or challenges. When was the last time that you actually sat down and said, "Hey, let's put it all on the table right here, and let's just talk about the issues that we have. Let's not argue. Let's not disagree." Um, there is a um, there is a therapeutic process where I've seen counselors do things like you get one of those squeeze balls, or you get something that you hold in your hand, and only the person that has that item in their hand can talk. And you can set a timer if you feel like the other person is going to be a little bit long winded or they're not going to give you the opportunity to talk. And what I would say is you really only want to make it so many minutes because you want it to be concise that you're able to converse about that specific thing. If you are someone that has been in a situation or a relationship where you all have had things that have compiled or they've combined and kind of built up over a period of time, you might need to break that down into sections. But in the process of you unleashing that, I want you to think about, when was the last time that you did something behind the scenes for your partner that then was a result for them to benefit from later on. And I am just led to let you know that I enjoy serving my family. I enjoy, like, it's going to be interesting when they get up this morning and, they're going to have a full dinner cooked for them. And sometimes I buy greens already in the bag, but this time I bought my own greens. I'm going to cut them up, wash them, and put them over here in the pot and let them cook. But my main point to you this morning is thinking about the little things that you do behind the scenes the things that I'm doing now while it's quiet in the house. Everybody is still asleep. And, then later on, they're going to benefit from the result of what it is that I'm doing now. And here's the other thing. You can't look at what you are doing as an issue to a tit for a tat. For instance, just because I got up and I'm cooking this morning, I can't look at it. And I do oftentimes. I have to have a conversation with my kids. And I say, well, you guys saw me cook. You saw me do this. The least that you could do is clean the kitchen. And that's a very real statement. So if you're on the recipient end of that and you are someone who your partner typically is the one that is giving, you need to take an inward look and see how you can then give back to them. See how you can reciprocate that back. I hear so many men that talk about how they feel neglected by their wives. And so often that they feel like they are giving, 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 and doing, and making sure she's cared for, but then not ever being told, thank you, baby. Or, sweetie, I appreciate you. Or, here's a back rub for what you've done. Or, I cooked your favorite meal just because I know you've been out there working hard for me. And so I don't want this video to be long, but I want you to just go and take a time, reflect on the quiet time, find a quiet space in the house, and just write down your list and see if there is a way that you can give more to your partner today while we're being thankful. All right, guys, this is Meditations with Marigny. If you like my videos, I'd love for you to click like, share them with a friend, and I would love for you to subscribe. Have an awesome day. And I'll be back later with some more when I'm all dressed up. All right, bye.